Today's episode is for mature audiences. I first have to say that. It's something that it is pretty explicit. And so definitely don't listen to this if you're uncomfortable with whatever, sex and sexual talk. Dad, if you're listening, stop. Don't listen. So anyway, today's episode is about, when two people get together, and I'm all about waiting to have sex, okay, until you're in an exclusive, committed relationship. I always say that, and I'll say that again. No shame if you are out there hooking up with whoever, but my whole mission is for you to find crazy love. And that is a love where you can be completely real and authentically, zenfully you. And that is about finding your person, right? Finding your partner. So that being said, okay, when you are exclusive in a committed relationship, something that is so important that I want you to take a step and really think about it if you are currently dating somebody in a committed relationship and being sexual with them. Are they going down on you? Oral sex. That is what I'm talking about. I want to really be clear about it. And, it's funny. I asked Will, I'm like, oh, hey, babe, you want to do this episode about oral sex? And he's like, no. He's like, oh my gosh. He's a little bit more, obviously more shy than I am. And he didn't want to do it. He felt a little embarrassed about it, and it's fine. But I feel, obviously, I don't hold back. And I have talked to so many of my clients about this. And it's interesting how many of you are in a relationship or have been in a relationship where you're dating someone and they are not going down on you. Okay, so that is bye-bye time. I want to be really clear about this. If you have expressed them, because that's something that I have to be clear about too, is that you having the confidence to communicate to your partner and you feeling comfortable enough and saying, hey, this is what I would like, right, is really important. Okay, so I am always saying that people can't read your mind. So I do want you to communicate that to the person that you're sleeping with. And so if you're not comfortable communicating that with them, right, well, that's an obvious problem, like what's going on there if you're not comfortable in talking to them about it. And so number one, you need to be able to communicate that. And let me tell you something, what may really help you is, masturbating, like taking the time on your own to really get to know yourself if you haven't done that and see what you like. And you can do that with your hand, or you can get a vibrator, and it's really not complicated. I don't want it to be like this heavy, oh my gosh, we're talking about vibrators. Like, I want to normalize all this talk. And I feel like there's so many people out there trying to do that. And I am part of that also. I want for you to be empowered. I want you to feel comfortable talking about masturbating. I want you to be comfortable about talking about orgasms. I want you to be like, oh my gosh, I love this and I don't like that. I like this about my body. When I get touched here, I like that. And so if you haven't had a moment, or you haven't made it in, a priority for yourself to, what does that feel like? Masturbating, right? And you're just relying on whoever you're with to satisfy you, it is going to be really difficult. It might feel really uncomfortable to talk to them about what you like when you don't even know what you like, right? And so at the end of the day, I want you to have a partner where you guys are like loving life, satisfying each other on all levels, that emotional, intellectual level, and the physical. And so I do want you to take responsibility for communicating to your partner what it is you like. So if you're currently dating somebody and you're not being satisfied in the bedroom, I feel like instead of being like, oh my God, it's awful, he doesn't ever go down on me, or she doesn't ever go down on me, right? And so by the way, this is something for the guys out there. If you're dating somebody, exclusively in a committed relationship and they're not going down on you, that to me is like, what the hell? Honestly, I'm not a fan of that. I am such a fan of being generous lovers. right? Both partners. And so I do feel that there's so much like, oh my God, nobody talks about it. Ew. And I don't want it to be that way. I feel like knowledge is power. I want us to talk about it. I want us to have a conversation about it. And I want you to just not, like, if you are in a relationship or you've experienced this numerous times when you're with a partner, which by the way, I've been in relationships like that where the guy is like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go down. It's just like weird, and they make me feel like something's wrong with me. Like, wait, is something wrong with me? Like, is something wrong with like my vagina? Like, what? That's weird. Like, and at the end of the day, it's bullshit. Like, nothing is wrong with me. And I realized, oh my God, I was just with the wrong person. That person wasn't all about me. That person, whatever, had their own issues and hang-ups about, oral sex. And you know what? How many times I just stayed and whatever, tolerated it. And I was very much like kind of even like ashamed about it. Like I didn't want to talk to anybody about it. I was like, well, I guess that's just how it is. I guess just okay. And buried my head in the sand kind of feeling. And that sucks. So I do want you to hear this and be like, if you're with a partner that is making you or saying things to you that like making you feel like something's wrong with you, I want you to know there's nothing wrong with you, okay? And I want you to take steps in communicating and figuring this out. So like step one, communicate to this person and say, hey, this is important to me. I'm all about showing up for you. And that's another thing, by the way. You can't expect them to go down on you if you're not going down on them. That's not cool. Like, what are we doing, right? So like it really has to be everyone's going all in on each other, all going down, going all in everywhere. And so I do feel like if you're wanting it, make sure that you're showing up like that, right? And so communicate, hey, I would love to explore this. I would love for you to go down on me. Let me tell you what works, what doesn't. If you are cringing right now, if you're like, oh my God, I can never do that. Okay, what are we doing having sex? Like, seriously, stop. Like, what? I need you to, like, for real, just if you're totally uncomfortable with talking about sex, I want you to get to a place that you can. Right? And I do think that if you take some time alone and masturbate and get comfortable with yourself, it's awesome. Like, have fun, do it, explore, feel confident in whatever you enjoy, right? And if you are listening, you're like, I've done that, Jackie, I know exactly what I like, but I've dated somebody, it doesn't go down on me and makes me feel weird about it. Well, then guess what? And if you've communicated to them and they still don't go down on you and you're going down on them, it is bye-bye time. Like, beyond bye-bye. Like, are you kidding me? This is on you, by the way. I will never be like, oh my gosh, he's such an asshole. Like, oh my gosh. And then you still keep dating him. Like, that's bullshit. Like, it is so important where, people tell you who they are. People tell you what kind of lover they are, what kind of partner they are. If they are not showing up to say, what can I do to make you happy? What can I do to please you? Make sure that, oh my gosh, you're satisfied because you are my priority. Right? Like, that's the energy you want from your partner. If they're not showing up like that in the bedroom, okay, like, this is on you. This is where you have to say, it's important to me. This is what I would love. And if they still don't, and they don't care, or they're not even trying, or they're not whatever, what do you do from that moment on? Okay. Are you going to have years of like sexless marriage or sex where you're not enjoying it and you're like, what, pretending to have orgasms? Oh my God, don't, please. Like, we're not doing that. I'm all about being authentic, being yourself. And if you're not getting off, if you're not enjoying it, don't pretend you are. Do not. I'm like done with the whole like fake orgasm. That's bullshit. You don't need to do that. That's really like not necessary. A good partner will make sure that you are satisfied. And it is so important to show up as an honest lover too. You have to show up like that. And so like when you're faking orgasms, at the end of the day, it doesn't serve you or them or the whole relationship. You don't need to do that. And so, and by the way, sometimes it will take time to orgasm. And don't feel bad about it. It's perfectly fine. I feel like so much of it is about your mindset. How are you going into it? And if you're not comfortable with any of this with the person that you're in a relationship with, it is a moment for you to reflect on that relationship. Like, what kind of relationship is this where you don't feel comfortable communicating with them, and when it comes to sex? So this is something where you need to take a step back and reflect on that, journal on that. This is when people work with coaches too. Like, this is what I love to help my clients with, is they talk to me about the itty gritty, whatever, all of that stuff that sometimes you don't have anyone to talk to, and you don't know if, is this normal, is it not normal, I don't know, and this is what I did, and this is what they did, da 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 da. Okay, and it's really about empowering you and really about giving you clarity. So whatever it is you do something. Like, don't settle for a relationship where you are having this, sex where it's like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to have a relationship where I never have orgasms. Okay. I'm going to have a relationship where he never goes down on me. I guess that's normal. No, it's not. It's really not. And it's up to you to change it. Okay, this is a moment where you're listening and you're like, oh my gosh, this podcast, Crazy Love or Nothing. Like, first of all, wow, follow if you haven't subscribed, follow me wherever you're listening. But I really want to be as clear as possible, be as blunt as possible. I don't want to sugarcoat shit because we don't have time for that. Every day matters, every day. And I don't want you spending another day faking orgasms. Like, I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to, settle for another day, another relationship where you are cringing at, oh my God, here we go again. We have to have sex, which, by the way, I've been there before in the past, and it sucks. Okay. It is awful. And I want you to know that there is another road you can take where it's amazing sex, and it just keeps getting better and better. And what is absolutely necessary is for you to be able to communicate exactly what you want fearlessly. What is the worst that could happen? They say, nope, I don't want to do that. Okay, why not? What do you mean? Whatever it is, okay, and then you can just say bye bye. And yes, it's simple as that, saying bye bye, because sometimes we get so stuck on making it work, and oh my gosh, I don't want to rock the boat, and it's so hard out there, and it's not. This is the stories that we tell ourselves to tolerate mediocre sex. It's like, stop tolerating that. And I want you to, like, own that. I want you to take responsibility. I want you to be like, wait a second, if my sex life sucks, if they're not going down on me and I want them to, okay, are you communicating that to them? Are you making it crystal clear? Right? And are you going down on them? Right? You can't ask for something in there and you're not doing it. Right? And then you say, wait, okay, they listened, or I told them and they're not doing it. Well, then that's it. Like, now what do you want to do? You want to live the rest of your life with mediocre sex and faking orgasms? Or do you want to be fearless and say, I want to have it all? I want to have a partner that makes me a priority. I make them a priority. I, make sure to go over and beyond in all aspects of their life, including in the bedroom, right? And, why am I going to settle for faking orgasms? Which, by the way, I used to do that for many previous relationships. And so much of that really comes from not feeling like I didn't have enough confidence in myself. I didn't realize how freaking valuable I was. So I was just going with whatever attention I got. And if it was mediocre sex, and I would have just fake orgasm so I could please them and their ego, and that's it. And it's like really depressing. I'm like, what? Like, I'm so happy that I did the inner work to heal and be like, wait a second, what is going on with me where I just am settling for mediocre relationships and for people that don't make me a priority and that try to shame me or make me feel bad because, like, they don't want to go down on me because they don't really give a shit about me and they don't really care about pleasing me either. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, why was I tolerating that? I just want the message here, okay, for this episode, I want you to feel empowered. I want you to take ownership of your shitty sex life. Like, I want you to, instead of blaming it on whoever, I want you to say, well, have you communicated? Are you comfortable in your own skin? Are you confident in yourself? Are you going down on your partner? Are you doing what you want from them? Right? And so, like, I want to hear if you're listening on YouTube, leave me a comment if this is resonating with you. I want you guys to, all of you, right? Everybody, whoever's listening, I want you to find your person, have amazing emotional connection, deep connection, physical intimacy, everything. Both of you, everyone's satisfied, amazing, forever. And it only keeps getting better and better, right? And it does exist. It does exist. Okay, and I know that after years and years of perhaps having mediocre sex or whatever relationships, and you're just settling for whatever you can get, it's like, I really want you to hear me and believe me when I say that there is more waiting for you. You just need to believe it and say it and say, oh my gosh, the only way I'm going to find it is by creating space to receive it. And I know it can be scary to let go of the known for the unknown, right? Yeah, there's a point, I know you care about whoever you've been with, so you're comfortable and you're actually chemically more attached to them, but you really have to take a step back and reflect. Are you fully, completely happy with this partner? Are they everything that you really want? Are they helping you shine brighter in this world? Are they making you a priority outside and inside the bedroom? Are they? And if the answer is no, then what are you doing? What are you doing? Nothing will change unless you change, right? And so I think it's a time to just stop settling for bullshit, or stop settling for mediocre. Stop just taking whatever you've been taking and go for that amazing, crazy love life, that crazy sex, the crazy all of it. It exists. I know. And as much as I can tell you, and as much as you may or may not believe it, it's so important about what action you're going to take. And so, if you're listening to this and this is resonating and you're feeling something, you're feeling like, oh shit, maybe I don't have to fake orgasms anymore. Oh my gosh, maybe I can have a partner that actually puts me first and I come first, and it's not always about them, or we're satisfying each other, and oh my gosh, this is amazing. It's like, if you haven't found that, it exists. So stop settling for anything less than crazy sex. You're like, because that's part of love. That is part of love. I'm not going to tell you, oh yeah, you're going to find your partner and you're going to have to settle for a life without sex. No, sex is part of it. This is why Will and I are so happy. This is why you talk to happy couples, for real happy. They're still having sex. When people stop having sex, it's like, wait a second, what's going on? There's a problem going on there, okay? So it's really up to you. What is going on in your sex life? Are you faking orgasms? It is time for you to take your power, know your power, and say, I communicate to your partner. And if you are single and you're like, oh my gosh, wait a second, this exists? Hell yeah, it exists. Do not settle for anything less than that. Okay, but remember, I'm going to say again what I said at the beginning. I am a big fan, and this is a rule of mine: no sex until you are in a committed, exclusive relationship, after you've really gotten to know each other and seen that this person is aligned to you, okay? But no matter what, I'm here for you. I'm so happy that you're listening. Let me know on YouTube or my Instagram, the JkL&x. Make sure to subscribe and follow me. I love connecting with this audience. Thank you for listening. And don't settle for anything less than crazy love, because it has to be crazy love or nothing. Until next time, thank you.